Okay, so hi, I'm Kat and I'm a developer at MindCandy. I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about Moshi Monsters, cyber pets, and the Moshi Monsters widget. If anyone's got any questions, I'm happy to answer them at the end of the presentation. Cool. So Moshi Monsters launched in April 2008, and over viral growth, we now have over 1.2 million users globally. Moshi Monsters is like a mix between a Tamagotchi, brain training, and Facebook for kids. So in Moshi Monsters, players are able to adopt a pet monster. The aim of the game basically is to try and keep this monster as happy and as healthy as possible. You're able to take your monster shopping, you can dress it up, and you can even buy items for it and play games with it. Monsters also respond to user interaction. They'll become happy and eventually a bit angry if you tickle and poke them. The puzzles and mini-games within Moshi Monsters provide a fun learning experience for the users. These also keep the monster happy and enable you to earn rocks, which you can then spend in the shops to buy items for your monster. So as well as being a fun and educational experience, Moshi Monsters also has a great social element. The pinboard you can see on the left-hand side here is basically the equivalent of the wall in Facebook, so users can post messages to one another on that. Then there's also the friends tree that you can see here. Users can search for their friends on this, and once added, they can easily view their friends' monsters, and they can send their messages on their pinboard. So on Friday, we launched a subscription for Moshi Monsters. The main game that was there originally is still free to the users. However, anybody who becomes a Moshi member will get access to special members-only features. So once the users coloured their monster and decorated the room, a bit like Eric here, we wanted to provide them with a way of sharing this with their friends and showing off a bit. So with this in mind, the MindCandy team set about researching existing cyber pets and began development on the Moshi Monsters widget. So cyber pet widgets have grown rapidly in recent years, though cyber pets as a whole have been very popular for many years. Obviously, one of the most famous ones is the Tamagotchi, with over 70 million units sold. Then there's Neopets. These have over 5.3 million users and have had 2.6 billion gameplays. Then if you look at the handheld gaming devices such as the Nintendo DS, their most popular game is Nintendogs, and this has sold over 20 million copies across the range. Obviously, there's a big market for cyber pets, and so it's no surprise that cyber pet widgets would eventually begin to appear. Not only are these used as a source of entertainment, they're also used socially, being put on users' MySpace and Facebook pages, for example. So the current cyber pet widgets out there, one of the most popular ones at the moment are those by Bunny Hero Labs, which provide a simple flash animation of numerous different animals. These currently have over 25 million views per month. A very recent success has been that of Pokey. Their creators, Fu Mojo, recently closed a $9.9 million funding round. Another example there is Pet Society, with over 5 million active users per month. So with all these success stories, it's easy to see why we thought a widget for Moshi Monsters was a good idea. So the Moshi Monsters widget has been developed to work on the 3 major social networking sites, MySpace, Bebo, and Facebook. Now, our target audience is children, and the reason we've actually developed this to work on Facebook as well is because we actually have quite a few users who are in the early or mid-20s, so quite a few grown-ups play it too. Okay, so when the widget is installed on a user's page, it will look like this, and it will show the monster in its room exactly as coloured within the game. It also has information about the monster, such as its level, its monster rating, and even its mood. When a user visits the widget, the monster will actually talk to them, and it will interact with them. Thanks to the APIs provided by the social networks, the monster is able to refer to information from the user's profile. So it can refer to things such as their name, their location, and even their interests. We've also included some time and date information in the widget, so it can say special things like, oh, it's very late, or Merry Christmas. All this provides a realistic and engaging experience for our users. And as you can see, there was a message here we received from one of our users who actually thought their monster was spying on them. Okay. Yeah, maybe we made it a little too realistic for that one. So overall, the Moshi Monsters widget provides around 1/4 of our site traffic, the majority of which actually comes from MySpace. I think one of the reasons we don't get quite so many visits via Facebook now is because our widget actually has to go on the Boxes tab, so not so many people see that anymore. One of the other issues we've encountered actually with Facebook that hasn't occurred on Bebo or MySpace is that in Bebo and MySpace, the widget will load automatically and will instantly display the monster in its room, as you see here. Whereas on Facebook, you can't load the widget automatically. Instead, we have to create a holding image, and the user has to click on this first before the widget will actually load. So as for the future plans for the Moshi Monsters widget, we intend to redesign it over the coming months, make it a bit simpler. The idea of this is that it will make it easier to spread, and we can add it to more sites, so anything like WordPress, Blogger, for example. If we make it more standalone, it will rely less on our back-end services, which makes it easier to spread and is obviously better for us. One of the features we want to put into here is instead of having it linked to a specific user's account, which it is currently, we'll enable simple monster design. So you can pick your type of monster, such as Katsuma here, and pick its colours, and then that will sit in your widget. You can then click on the widget to go to the Moshi Monsters page.